Hello, and welcome to the SAF Audiovisual Cast, where we, SAF, connect and share information from top university officials, faculty, and administration directly with SAF students and parents. Thanks for joining us. All right, so our guest today speaks English, German, French, Spanish. He's studied with an Erasmus scholarship in Europe and previously worked in the UC system. Now you're the Associate Director of Recruitment for non-degree programs at Columbia University School of Professional Studies. Hello, Cole Harry.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Cole, can you tell us a little bit about your role and what you do with Columbia?
Yeah, so I work across all of our non-degree programs. So these are programs for visiting or short-term students who come to Columbia that do not grant full degrees. So for example, if you do a semester abroad at Columbia, if you take a summer course, or if you do one of our certificates in business or other fields. So I work with a number of visiting students to help them come study at Columbia.
Very cool. So what brought you into international education?
I was an international student myself. I studied Latin American studies and did a year of exchange in Santiago in Chile, and then I did a master's degree in global studies in Germany and Austria. And when I returned home to California, I started working for the Study Abroad and Summer Sessions office at Berkeley with international students.
So now, Cole, you're based in New York. You're with Columbia. You've been there for a while. Can you tell us about your favorite place on the Columbia campus?
So my favorite place on the Columbia campus is there's a set of steps in front of the Low Library. It's kind of the iconic building at the center of campus. And on sunny days, even in the winter, the steps are filled with people who are sitting, eating lunch. It's a good place to people watch. The campus is in the middle of Manhattan, so it's a very busy, sort of packed campus, and you can always find a spot on the stairs to sit and eat your lunch.
I've heard of, as well as many others have, Columbia is a super famous school, Ivy League, top level. But can you introduce us a little bit more from your perspective?
Yeah. So Columbia is one of the oldest schools in the United States, one of the oldest universities. It was founded before the independence of the United States from England. So it was founded in 1754 as King George's College. So it was founded as a British institution, actually, in Lower Manhattan, in downtown Manhattan, where the first English settlements were. After the independence of the US, it was chartered as Columbia University. And then eventually it moved in the 1800s to our current location in Upper Manhattan. So we have been, since the founding of New York City, the flagship educational institution in New York City. Columbia University is part of the Ivy League system, which includes Harvard, Yale, Princeton. So we're part of kind of the elite network of the 7 East Coast Ivy League schools, but we're the only Ivy League school in New York City. So that gives us a bit of a special advantage in that we're part of one of the financial and cultural capitals of the world. So a lot of our professors, faculty, and students have really close relationships to New York City and all the international networks that come from New York City.
So I think you might have answered this question a little bit already, but can you tell us a few features or advantages of Columbia that make it stand out from other institutions of higher learning?
Yeah. So I think the first case for Columbia is that it's a top-ranked university in the United States. To enter into Columbia as a student, we require a very high GPA. So the students with whom you're studying are all some of the top students from across the United States and internationally. So there's a very elite level of learning. Our professors and faculty are some of the top professors and faculty in the world. We have 7 Nobel Prize winners who are currently on faculty. And since Columbia was founded, there have been 84 Columbians, so meaning both professors, faculty, and student alumni who have won a Nobel Prize. So you're surrounded by a very elite group of people between your peers who are your students and the professors who are teaching you. Columbia is a private university, so that means that the amount of services that you get as a student are very high. You have small class sizes. You get to know your professors on an individual level. And you have a very tailored experience to what you want because of our small school size and their status as a private university. Most importantly, although for the summer, students are not coming to New York City because of the current situation, when you are able to travel to New York City again, our location in New York City is a really, really wonderful aspect of Columbia, and I think one of the most important aspects. We're located on the island of Manhattan. There's a subway stop directly outside of campus that can take you anywhere in the 5 boroughs of New York City. And we're in a beautiful part of Upper Manhattan with access to everything that Manhattan and New York City offers.
Wow. Lots of benefits, it sounds like. I think you also have made my job really easy in interviewing you because the next question's also been answered. I was gonna ask about how you help some of the course load, some of the specific challenges that come with such a rigorous set of academics. And it sounds like you touched on one of those, which would be smaller class sizes. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about how Columbia assists students who have this pressure to succeed?
Yeah, so we have the model that we have at Columbia. We have small class sizes with a lot of personalized instruction for students. When you are a visiting student at Columbia, you enroll through the School of Professional Studies. The School of Professional Studies provides all visiting students with an academic advisor who you'll be introduced to before you arrive to Columbia. That academic advisor will be your point of contact before, during, and after your studies, and will help you navigate everything you need to know about campus. So if you're having an issue, for example, with a research paper, your academic advisor will connect you to our writing center where you can set up one-on-one appointments with writing tutors, totally included in your tuition. And you can meet with them up to 2 times a week, where they review the research papers that you're writing and give you tips on your writing. And that's one of the tutoring services. We have other campus tutoring services that are available that your academic advisors can set you up with. Our librarians are some of the best librarians in New York City, and they can help you with any research that you need. So you can go meet with a librarian who can help you, point you to the right research opportunities and resources. Yeah, so you're well supported while you're at Columbia.
Very interesting, Cole. I think that you might have touched on an area that would be something that our students are thinking about at this moment as well, where a lot of students are looking directly at this summer for maybe some online programs and thinking about how they really integrate into Columbia and what the benefit is. Maybe, would it be okay for you to tell us a little bit about some of the online summer offerings?
Yeah. So we, in the spring, when the situation with COVID became very serious, we immediately switched all of our coursework to be online. So we're finishing out the spring semester now, just as everyone in China is, fully online. At the School of Professional Studies, we are one of the most advanced practitioners of online education in the United States. So we have a long history of being at the cutting edge of of online learning. For the summer, we're keeping everything online again. So all of our summer courses will be offered online. We're working with STAR faculty to get some very, very well-known professors to teach courses online. I'll share a list of those courses with you because I think it'd be interesting for students to see.
Sure.
We have a course from some astrophysicist who is talking about space and the meaning of life. We have a course on virology. We have a biochemistry course that's going to look into the COVID-19 epidemic. So we have really dynamic courses that are going to be taught online, but you'll have the experience of being with Columbia students and interacting with your professors. So that interactive aspect, even though it's online, is still happening. Our professors are really adept at working with our instructional designers to create online environments that are interactive, dynamic, and engaging.
Wonderful. Really compelling offerings. A lot of our students are looking at the Columbia language offerings this summer. As I understand, it's ALP.
Yeah, the American Language Program.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that one?
Yeah, the American Language Program is the oldest English language teaching program in the United States, so it's one of the first that was ever established. We have English courses, but with Ivy League level content. So the professors who are teaching the English courses aren't just run-of-the-mill ESL teachers. They're academics and professors in the field of teaching English as a second language. So we have moved all of those courses for the summer to online as well. The courses are offered synchronously, so you're going to be with the professors while they're being taught. They're offered at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is evening in China. So they will work with your schedule. And there'll be small class sizes and a high level of interactivity. We do have 3-week business intensive if you want to do like a business English course. So that's only for 3 weeks. And we have reduced the tuition to reflect that it's an online environment just for the American Language Program.
I see. Ivy League level language learning sounds quite compelling. Can you tell us some other areas that the English language programs offered by Columbia set themselves apart from other programs, other language programs?
So I think, again, we have very small class sizes, between 8 and 12 students, possibly smaller. The way that we design the courses, there's a mixture of sort of in-house learning, or sort of like lectures and when you're being taught, and a strong component of interactivity. No, I think the real strength lies in the quality of faculty and our long experience teaching English.
Well put. So on those sessions, a little bit more. My understanding is that they are both synchronous and asynchronous. So there's time for you to be in a class with a teacher live, and then also you are doing work or study work at your own pace. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So for the business English intensive, for example, there's 15 hours a week of synchronous instruction from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then there's 5 hours of asynchronous study on top of that. So asynchronous activities that take place on your own time for a total of 20 hours a week. Then, of course, you have homework on top of that.
So a full course load, a full study week, I suppose.
Yeah.
Compelling, interesting. So we talked a little bit about some of the summer offerings that I think our students have been asking about. We've also, we've introduced you as someone from the School of Professional Studies. Can you tell us a little bit about what the School of Professional Studies is?
Yeah, the School of Professional Studies it's one of 20 colleges or schools, institutes at Columbia University, the largest being Columbia College. Um, the School of Professional Studies is unique in that we are the primary entrance point for all visiting students. So we facilitate the enrollment of visiting students across Columbia's campus. So regardless of what college you want to take courses from, you enter through the School of Professional Studies. We assist you with the registration process, uh, with obtaining your visa, with arriving to campus. We have in-house academic advisors for you, but we help you enroll in courses that take place across Columbia University. So you're not restricted to courses that are offered in the School of Professional Studies. If you want to take School of Professional Studies courses, you're able to. But typically our students take courses in arts and sciences or Columbia College itself. We also have courses that are offered from the School of International and Public Affairs, from the School of Engineering, all of the School of Journalism, all of the big schools at Columbia partner with S.P.S. to allow visiting students, be they domestic visiting students from the United States or international visiting students from all over the world, enroll in courses.
Cole, can students attending Columbia via SPS enjoy all the same living and learning opportunities that degree-seeking students attending the university can?
Yes, so you're enrolled as a Columbia University student, and no one will know that you're a visiting student when you're enrolled as a Columbia student, as a visiting student. You'll receive a student ID that's identical to the degree-seeking students. In your class, you're not flagged as a visitor student. You're just enrolled as a regular student. Our student body in New York City is so international as it is that no one would suspect that you're not a normal, quote unquote, normal Columbia student unless you told them. So you really have an opportunity to fully immerse yourself in what it's like to live and study at an Ivy League university. One of the best advantages of being a visiting student at Columbia University is you get access to Columbia University students have a special status in New York City because it's the flagship university. So one of the things that the campus gives you is free access to almost every museum in New York City. So there's a long list, there's 34 museums that Columbia University students get free or very discounted access to. And then we also have, for all of our students, we have discounted tickets to Broadway, to the symphony, to the opera. So you can go see all the cultural offerings that New York City has to offer as a student.
Cole, you, as I understand, you make it to China every once in a while for work. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about first, maybe a little bit about Columbia's connections to China?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Columbia is a hugely international university. So we have relationships with campuses all over the world. But we also, of course, have a strong relationship with China. We have one of our global campuses is in Beijing. So there's a global center. It's in the Haijian district, close to all the big universities in Beijing. So we have faculty that go spend time at the global center. We have a strong presence in China. In my previous positions, I worked managing relationships between many different Chinese universities, and I traveled to China often. And I grew up in California with a portion of my family of Chinese descent. So I've always been very exposed to and interested in Chinese culture and Chinese history. I've been very happy to work closely with China.
So we at SAF, I think we maintain a pretty strong presence in China. And we've had the fortune with working with you in Colombia for some time. Would you mind sharing a little bit about our relationship with you?
Yeah, so the Study Abroad Foundation historically has been one of Columbia University's strongest partners. And I think this is explained particularly by the fact that SAF has a very strong base in the United States, but also really strong networks in China. So they enjoy kind of the best of both worlds, having staff both in Indianapolis and in Chicago and in Beijing and in Shanghai and all over China. SAF being on both sides of the cultures makes them very easy to work with. I also think it's a benefit for the students. When you come through SAF, you have the expertise of having local staff in the United States who can help you navigate the universities and who have a lot of experience working with United States universities all over, especially with Columbia, but SAF has a large network all over the US. And they have a very, very good reputation as being a trustworthy and dependable provider for study abroad options in the United States.
Well, that's a very thoughtful set of words for us. Thank you, Cole. Now, I know right now it's not a normal time. A lot of students, parents, everyone is concerned with the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're all looking forward to when things get back to normal. Students and parents are faced with concerns. Do you have anything to share with them?
Yeah. So as I said before, Columbia University went online as soon as it became clear that we had to. From the very beginning of the crisis, we have a task force set at Columbia University by some of the world's top epidemiologists and public health experts. We have a medical center on campus that's at the cutting edge of research with COVID-19. And all of the decisions that the university is taking are informed by our so-called in-house experts. So the same people who are setting policy on COVID-19 are also working at Columbia University. So nothing will happen at Columbia University until it's safe to happen. We're currently completely online for the summer, and we are evaluating what will happen for the fall. If the situation develops in a way that makes it safe for students to come to New York City and come to Columbia for the fall semester, we will welcome them and make all of the adjustments possible to ensure that student safety is respected and that that's the number one priority. But we're constantly evaluating the situation. We have a strong working relationship with the mayor of New York City and with the governor of New York City, both of whom have been working with the university really closely to coordinate our response. And yeah, our student safety is the number one priority. We won't open the university unless all the available science and knowledge points to the safety of opening it. So you can be assured that if we're holding programs, your students will be safe.
Very reassuring. It's all about the students. On a lighter note, I would like to ask you something that we've asked some of the other guests. You have mentioned that you traveled to China. You also grew up with some ethnic Chinese family. Tell us about your favorite dish.
So I think my favorite food is either Sichuanese food or Hunanese food, because I really like spicy, especially like the ma spice. And I really like I don't know what it's called, but I think my favorite dish is the fish that's cooked in oil with all the chili peppers.
Oh, sure. Shui Yu?
I don't know. But it's one of those fish that's covered in chili peppers and cooked in oil. That's the thing that I always want to get when I'm in China.
That's harder to find even in NYC in Chinatown. Harder to find in Chicago as well. You got to go to the source, right?
Yeah, very hard to find. There's a few restaurants in San Francisco that do it, like a few new Sichuanese restaurants, but I haven't found it in New York City yet.
Fair enough. Anything else you'd like to share today?
No, we look forward to welcoming you to Columbia, either online or in person. And you can always contact the advisors at SAF with any questions. They have a lot of experience working with us, and they're very helpful.
Thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.